Suez Crisis, the June 1967 War, the 1973 Arab-Israel War, the Sinai Agreement, Weapon of Oil, Camp David Accord, Peace Treaty, Egypt after Sadat, the Intifada, the Middle East Peace Process, the Oslo Accord, Wye River Peace Accord, Sharm el-Sheikh Accord, elections in Saudi Arab, recent development in the Middle East, 2005 Palestine presidential election, resolving the crisis, the roadmap for Middle East peace, the Geneva Proposal, Middle East crisis and United States, Persian Gulf, end of American holiday, a grim politico-economic outlook, the Middle East quagmire, 2002. The June 1967 war, also known as the Six-Day War, was a pivotal conflict in the Middle East. It reshaped the boundaries and the political landscape of the region. This war saw Israel capture the Gaza Strip, the Sinai Peninsula, the West Bank, East Jerusalem, and the Golan Heights. The outcomes of this war continue to influence the geopolitics of the Middle East to this day. The 1973 Arab-Israeli War, often referred to as the Yom Kippur War, was another significant conflict. It began when a coalition of Arab states, led by Egypt and Syria, launched a surprise attack on Israel on Yom Kippur, the holiest day in Judaism. The war lasted for about 3 weeks and resulted in heavy casualties on both sides. Despite initial gains by the Arab forces, the war ended with a ceasefire, brokered by the United Nations. The Sinai Agreement, signed in 1975, was a crucial step towards peace between Egypt and Israel. This agreement led to the gradual withdrawal of Israeli forces from the Sinai Peninsula, paving the way for the eventual Camp David Accords. The Sinai Agreement is often seen as a milestone in the peace process, highlighting the importance of diplomacy and negotiation in resolving conflicts. In the mid-20th century, oil emerged as a powerful tool in the geopolitical landscape. Middle Eastern countries, rich in oil reserves, began to realize the immense leverage they held. By controlling the flow of oil, they could influence global politics and economies. This newfound power reshaped alliances and rivalries, making oil a weapon of unprecedented influence. In 1978, the Camp David Accords marked a significant turning point in the Middle Eastern peace process. Facilitated by the United States, Egypt and Israel engaged in intense negotiations. The accords led to a peace treaty, making Egypt the first Arab country to officially recognize Israel. This historic agreement laid the groundwork for future peace efforts in the region. The peace treaty between Egypt and Israel, signed in 1979, was a landmark achievement. It not only ended decades of hostility, but also set a precedent for other nations. The treaty demonstrated that dialogue and diplomacy could pave the way for lasting peace. Despite ongoing challenges, this agreement remains a cornerstone of Middle Eastern diplomacy. After the assassination of Anwar Sadat in 1981, Egypt entered a new era under the leadership of Hosni Mubarak. Mubarak's presidency was marked by a mix of political stability and economic challenges. He maintained Egypt's peace treaty with Israel and navigated the complexities of Middle Eastern politics. However, his regime faced criticism for its authoritarian practices and lack of democratic reforms. The socio-economic issues and political repression eventually led to widespread discontent, setting the stage for future upheavals. The Intifada, which began in 1987, was a significant uprising by Palestinians against Israeli occupation in the West Bank and Gaza Strip. This grassroots movement was characterized by widespread protests, civil disobedience, and violent clashes. The Intifada brought international attention to the Palestinian struggle and highlighted the harsh realities of life under occupation. It also led to a shift in the dynamics of the Israeli-Palestinian conflict, influencing subsequent peace efforts and negotiations. The Middle East peace process has been a long and arduous journey, filled with numerous negotiations, agreements, and setbacks. Starting with the Camp David Accords in 1978, various attempts have been made to resolve the Israeli-Palestinian conflict and achieve lasting peace in the region. Key milestones include the Oslo Accords in 1993 and the Camp David Summit in 2000. Despite these efforts, the peace process has faced significant obstacles, including mutual distrust, political changes, and ongoing violence. The quest for peace in the Middle East remains an ongoing and complex challenge. The Oslo Accord, signed in 1993, marked a significant milestone in the Israeli-Palestinian conflict. It was the first time that both parties officially recognized each other and agreed to a framework aimed at achieving peace. This accord laid the groundwork for future negotiations and was seen as a beacon of hope for many. The Wye River Peace Accord, signed in 1998, was another critical step in the peace process. This agreement focused on the implementation of previous commitments and aimed to build trust between the parties. Despite facing numerous challenges, it demonstrated a continued commitment to dialogue and resolution. The Sharm el-Sheikh Accord, signed in 2000, was an attempt to quell the violence and restore negotiations. This agreement emphasized the need for both sides to take concrete actions to reduce tensions and work towards a lasting peace. It underscored the importance of perseverance and the ongoing quest for stability in the region. Elections in Saudi Arabia have been a topic of significant interest and discussion. In recent years, there have been strides towards more inclusive political processes, though challenges remain. The introduction of municipal elections marked a pivotal moment, allowing citizens to have a say in local governance. However, the journey towards broader democratic participation continues to be gradual and complex. The Middle East has witnessed a flurry of recent developments, each shaping the region's future in profound ways. From diplomatic breakthroughs to economic reforms, the landscape is evolving rapidly. Key players in the region are navigating these changes with varying strategies, aiming to balance tradition with modernity. As we look ahead, the impacts of these developments will undoubtedly play a crucial role in the global arena. The 2005 Palestine presidential election was a significant milestone in the region's political history. This election followed the passing of Yasser Arafat and was crucial for the Palestinian Authority's legitimacy. Mahmoud Abbas emerged victorious, promising to pursue peace and stability. The election process itself was a testament to the Palestinian people's resilience and their desire for self-determination. Despite the challenges, this election marked a hopeful chapter in the ongoing pursuit of peace in the Middle East. Now, let's dive into the intricate process of resolving the crisis. The journey towards peace is often fraught with challenges, but it's also filled with opportunities for dialogue and understanding. Over the years, numerous efforts have been made to bring conflicting parties to the negotiating table, aiming for a sustainable and lasting peace. The roadmap for Middle East peace has been a complex and evolving blueprint. Crafted with the intention of addressing the core issues, it seeks to establish a two-state solution, ensuring security and mutual recognition. This roadmap has seen various iterations, each trying to adapt to the changing dynamics and aspirations of the people involved. The Geneva Proposal, introduced as an unofficial peace initiative, represents a bold attempt to outline a comprehensive solution. It addresses key issues such as borders, security, refugees, and the status of Jerusalem. Although not officially adopted, it has significantly influenced subsequent peace efforts, demonstrating the power of innovative thinking and collaboration. The relationship between the Middle East and the United States has always been complex, Over the years, various crises have shaped this dynamic, influencing policies, alliances, and of course, conflicts. From economic interests to military interventions, the U.S. has played a significant role in the region. And, while this involvement has had far-reaching consequences, not just for the countries directly involved, but for global geopolitics as well. The so-called American holiday in the Middle East, marked by a period of relative disengagement, came to an end. This shift was driven by emerging threats and the need to protect strategic interests. As the U.S. reasserted its presence, the region saw a renewed focus on diplomacy and military strategy. It's clear that the end of this holiday signaled a new era of American involvement in the Middle East. The outlook for the Middle East from both a political and economic perspective has often been grim. Persistent conflicts, economic instability, and social upheaval have created a challenging environment. Despite efforts to foster peace and development, the region continues to face significant hurdles. It's a complex and honestly often disheartening situation that requires nuanced understanding and, continued attention. By 2002, the Middle East had become a quagmire of competing interests and unresolved conflicts. The events of the previous years had only deepened the complexities, making it increasingly difficult to navigate. For many, the region seemed trapped in a cycle of violence and instability, with no clear path to resolution. This quagmire, unfortunately, has had lasting impacts that continue to resonate today.